It's hard to believe that it's December already. And with that means the spirit of the season and the spirit of giving. And when we think about the season of the spirit, we think about stockings hung by the chimney with care. Well, today's guest, Wendy Strauss, takes those stockings with care to the next level. I'm so excited to introduce Wendy Strauss and the incredible story behind Mom's Christmas Stocking and what she is doing to make a difference for so many this holiday season. You're not going to want to miss this. I'm so excited to have Wendy Strauss here today from Mom's Christmas Stockings. Wendy, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Heidi. It's a pleasure. I'm really grateful.
Well, I'm really excited, and it's really fun for me when I can meet someone in person, have a little moment, and then to have it come back. I met you at a book signing, and I had no clue you were a nonprofit founder. So it feels kismet to me, and really fantastic that we're having this conversation about really important work. So I'm really grateful that you're here. So just to dive right in, tell us what Mom's Christmas Stockings does. What is your title's gives a little giveaway, but why don't you tell us what you do?
Okay. Each year at holiday season, we fill hundreds of Christmas stockings and we donate them to a group that distributes them around the five boroughs of Manhattan, around New York City.
I
So women
love that.
receive these beautifully filled Christmas stockings to receive shots of love and a little holiday joy. Women who
I
may not otherwise receive that
That's
each year.
beautiful. I
Mm.
love that. So I always say people don't just wake up and decide to do this. There's a lot of things that happen before you get to these moments of starting a nonprofit. But let's go way back and talk about when you were young. Did you have a role model or grow up in a family that was very philanthropic? What were the early seeds kind of helping other people? Because I don't
Well,
think it just sprouts out of nowhere for the most part.
yeah. I sort of grew up an only child in that I was the last of five. My sisters were older, my brother older, and so I was sort of the big sister to my aunts and to my nieces and nephews. But my mom was then at that time sort of free to live her life a little bit the way she needed to do, and I
Right.
tagged along. So she did a lot of beautiful things, a lot of spiritual seeking. She did yoga, meditation back when it wasn't really at the a popular, it was just new. And I got to that sort of formed my childhood with her. It wasn't so much giving back, it was more of a discovery for her.
I I love
And
that.
she was surrounded always by a lot of younger people. And, she had me when she was older. So I think she was sort of a mentor to these hippie type kids that were around, practicing meditation and chanting and things like that. So um, she was my role model even then, just to be open to new people, to not quite the norm. We
Right.
were vegetarians when it wasn't really
Oh,
a
wow.
thing.
Right.
So she
Absolutely.
was, yeah,
She was ahead of the curve.
she really was. Exactly.
Yeah.
She
She
was ahead
sounds
of
like
it.
she was definitely ahead of, people are
Mhm.
just, it was considered unusual then, or, the hippie term is exactly makes it. So I love that. I think it's fantastic. So I always say that a lot of people can share the moment that they decided to do this because, you grow up with this wonderful family and this mom that's super interesting and always like curious and learning and stretching herself and all these wonderful things. But you don't just wake up and say, I'm going to start a nonprofit. Something happens. There's always a moment. And in the hundreds or thousands of people that I've interviewed, everyone can share the moment that they knew they had to do something. So why don't you share what is the backstory to Mom's Christmas stockings?
Thank you. I would love to. So we in 2007, Mom passed away in March. And my husband and son and I had a pre planned trip to go down and visit her in June for a high school reunion of mine, but also to see family and be with the family. And she had fixed her home up for all of us to come and visit, and then she wasn't there. So we decided we'd stay in her house. My sisters lived nearby, and it was bittersweet being there. It was if she welcomed us to be
Oh,
there, and
right.
she wasn't there physically. So I found myself in her very tidy little office one morning. She had been a wonderful writer. She had numerous articles printed. She loved the Historical Society. She did a lot of research on our family tree, and she would research cemeteries. And so she was very prolific in her writings. And so I was wandering around her very tidy little office, and I randomly picked up a file folder, and this little slip of paper fell out onto the floor. And I picked it up, and shall I read what it said?
Yes, please do. Please do. Because I read it again this morning and it just gave me chills and it's
I,
so beautiful.
it's really nice. So it was entitled Mom's Christmas Stocking. Every Christmas, you have always filled a stocking for Mom. I want you to continue to do so. Choose the very things I would love and those you love to give to me. Find someone to give this filled stocking to, a woman in prison or in a drug rehab or a homeless center. This is the most precious gift I could receive or that you could give, sharing the love we know with someone who really needs a shot of love. And in this way, I will continue to share your Christmases and continue to be a part of my wonderful family. Sorry, that I am proud to share.
Ah, makes me cry too. It's
I
so
know.
beautiful. It's
Gets
just
me
so
every
beautiful,
time.
right? It's so beautiful. I mean, I read it this morning and I cried, and you read it now and I cried. Like it's so beautiful. And I don't believe in coincidences. I just don't.
Mm,
Um, and it didn't just fall from the folder. It was meant for you to see because you see this, but then when you get a sign and you know it's a sign, I mean, this is like a knock on the head, like, hello, Wendy, I'm calling you. I need you to do something. But just because you get a piece of paper doesn't mean you're going to start an organization and do it. So, talk to me about from reading this note to, I think
yeah.
my mom's telling me to do something and I better do it.
Yeah. I got really excited, and I felt like it was a comfort mechanism for her to comfort us. I didn't think she knew that she was going to pass. It was unexpected, but
Right.
I made copies for my siblings and I gave them each. And that Christmas I took this very seriously, when the time came, and I filled the stocking, my one little stocking, and I didn't know where I was going to bring it. But I Googled and I found an organization called Women in Need.
There,
Perfect.
there you go.
So on my lunch hour, I brought it over and I said I have a donation, and I explained why I was doing it. And I was a little timid about it. And I had written up what my mom had written, and I enclosed it. And said they would find someone to give this stocking to, which I said, okay, now I've done my duty.
Right.
Uh, but
It
it
always
made me,
starts with one. It
I
always
know.
starts with one.
And Heidi, it made me feel so good. I mean, I flew
Right?
through the rest of my work day, and I went to my workout as usual every evening, and the girls just looked at me like something's up. And I shared with them what I had done, and they said, well, next year we'll all fill stockings. So
Mm.
that following year, we filled 8 stockings. And then and it was a lot of fun, and I brought them back to the same organization. And then we decided, we did a little more planning. We talked about it. Other people were interested in what we'd done, and they decided, we as a group, we said, well, let's open it up a little bit. Maybe our families want to come, we can have refreshments. So that was what started the ball rolling. It was a planned organization, which just turned out to be kind of fun for us to all
Okay.
gather at the holiday. And the children loved it. All the little kids just, it
Oh.
was,
And
I
what
mean,
year did you start making the stockings? Was that in 2008 when you started? Because you found
yeah,
the note.
2008, we did the 8 stockings. And then 2009, I think we did 75. And then it just grew and grew each year. So,
Oh, and when did you become when did you decide you needed to become a nonprofit?
well, it had been brewing, people wanted to donate more. They wanted to see how it worked. They loved what the project was. And I started thinking about it, and I was getting encouragement from others. And I thought, oh, I just don't know how to do it. But
Right.
I looked up online how to become a nonprofit, what I needed
Right.
to do. I did the small things first. And I honestly, I did this all by myself. I filled
Which
out the
is
paperwork.
un right. I mean, I mean, I remember I did when we did started a nonprofit in 2003, I had 9 girlfriends, so there were 9 of us. I did the paperwork by myself, but I had 9 people that were saying, "Did you get this done? Did you do that?" It was a team
Mm,
effort. Um, but so
that's a
many
key.
people that I talked to, it starts with one idea and one moment, but it's connected to something bigger, right? You're just connected to the love
Mhm.
of your mother and your mother's giving. And there's a deeper thing involved with all of these organizations that isn't just a business that helps people. There's so much more behind it. So talk to me
Yeah.
about the challenges because here you're doing this alone. I mean, that's a challenge. But talk to me about when you decide to take the step. Okay, we've grown. Now we're going to become a nonprofit. Talk to me about some of the challenges. Starting a business is hard.
It was hard, and the first big challenge I had once I became a nonprofit was the pandemic. It was in
Oh,
2020 that I got you know, my
501(c)(3).
determination letter, and I was
Right.
official, and then everything closed down, so we didn't so I was filling stockings all by myself.
Oh my
That
gosh.
was a big deal, and that was, gave me something to do. Um,
Right.
but the donations did come in, the Amazon, we just didn't have any gatherings for a couple of years. So
Oh, wow.
2019 was our last. So what we do is we hold an annual stocking stuffing event. And that's always fun. That's a given every year. I'm hosted by the same gym that it was founded in, Grassroots Fitness Project.
That's
And
great.
that's good. But I mean, funding is always a challenge. Spreading the
Right.
word is a challenge. Um,
Right.
space is a challenge.
Right.
And you know, we we want to have the gathering. Sure, it was easy and I got comfortable doing everything hands on by myself,
Which, right. And
which I
that's
could keep it organized, but having the others, they love it so much. Everyone has such a good time.
Well, and
So,
that's part of what we do. We bring community and connection. I mean, nonprofit
absolutely.
founders are connectors at their core, and they
Mm,
bring people together and they create community where it doesn't exist. And they're like an invitation saying, come one, come all. I mean, that's the beauty of what the work that we do is that we bring people together and then we give people an opportunity who don't know how to engage or connect an invitation to be involved with something that they would have never been involved with if it wasn't for someone like you, Wendy. So I mean, that's the beauty. One of the beautiful things about it is that we multiply our efforts the more people that we include. And you started from one stocking, and how many stocking? Well, I'm not going to jump ahead. I've got to keep myself in order because I want to get to the spoiler alert of your impact now. But talk to me about, I mean, I know you have a full-time job and you're running a nonprofit on the side, which is in
Mm.
itself ridiculous. Talk to me about what fuels you when, you know, you're living in the city, you still have laundry, you have a day job, you got to work out, and now it's coming to time you've got to deal with people and orders and fulfilling these things. I mean, what fuels you to keep going? How do you muddle through in those days when you're like, I don't know if I can do this? Because those days do happen.
Yes, they do. And I am alone and doing it primarily by myself. I think the big thing is, after mom passed, and we had lost my dad, and then my husband passed in
So
2014, and my
sorry.
brother shortly after. And we experienced a lot of loss.
Right.
And I think that what has kept me going through all of this is, um, you know, we everyone we encounter has something going on, and we don't know their story. I know my story. I know what
Right.
makes me feel good and feel better. And a dear friend quoted to me once, she had gone through a horrific traumatic thing. And she came to one of the events, and we were setting up together. She said, Wendy, giving is healing. And that just became my motto. And
Amen.
it it is so healing. It feels so good to give, but also the recipient gets something, but we get so much in return. So
So much more.
I
I
think,
could not agree more.
yeah,
And it literally is. I mean, as we live in this society of mental health challenges and all of these things, and I think what's a little bit different, and I'm certainly not blaming generations but I know, I mean, we all have loss, and I call it trash. We all have trash we have to take out, and we can hold on to our trash can, or we can take it out, or we can recycle it, and we can do something really beautiful with that trash, and we can help somebody else. And when you recycle and you help someone else, it is the most healing thing ever. And if people who are in pain just thought not about their pain or themselves or their trash can, but thought about what can I do with this to help somebody else? What little tiny thing can I do? You started
yeah,
making one stocking. And now, I mean, and it's incredible. So talk to me about what's happening today. Now I'm going to get to the question about impact, because I know impact is a word that I struggle with when I run a nonprofit full time, and when I ask foundations for grants, they want to know my impact. And impact isn't just we made this many stockings, we served this many people. Impact can be a child who's never had something that gets something, and it plants a seed in them that is a memory that lasts their lifetime. That's an immeasurable impact. But talk to me about what you think your impact is and what you've been able to do.
yeah. I've always tried to um put, as I've grown, the quality over the quantity. And I am pushed a lot about, oh, how many are we doing?
Right,
What's the goal this year? Even
right,
my providers that are so generous that take and distribute for me, their need is so great. They want to honor so many moms. And it- I do my best, right? We all
right,
do our
right,
best to help
right,
everyone. I try not to think about that part of it, but the people that give me feedback about what they have done and how they look forward to this, families look forward to our events every year, that impact is wonderful for me.
right.
We have families that never miss the events. friends and families have moved away from where this began here in New York to all over the country, Massachusetts, Virginia, Maryland, Colorado, and now North Carolina, and they're all holding their own stocking stuffing events. And
Oh,
that to me is so beautiful. And
beautiful.
they and yes, and recently in the past recent years, local New York businesses and schools have run their own stocking stuffing events too, and they ship
Oh,
them to me or they drop them off with me, and they're added there, my totals are added that way too. So that impact is beautiful. That
that's incredible. I mean, this is the beauty, and this is why I love grassroots, I guess is for lack. And I'm not saying that Susan G. Komen and all of these huge nonprofits don't do beautiful, incredible work. That is not what I'm saying. But
mm,
when you think about your mom's slip of paper, one little note, one person, one stocking, and now businesses, schools, people across the country. I mean, that is the most beautiful legacy. That's so, Wendy, I hope you just pat yourself on the back. I think that
thank
people,
you.
we don't stop often enough, especially in the nonprofit space, because we're our own worst enemy sometimes. And I love that you are able to kind of put the noise canceling on some of that, because we say we're going to help one, and then we're going to help 10, and then we're going to help 100, and there's a point where it's like, okay, do we grow our roots deeper and and really make sure that we're doing what we said we are doing, or do we spread everywhere and everyone gets so excited they just want to grow, 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 and sometimes that's just sometimes growth isn't always the answer. And
And
sometimes it is. It just depends, right?
yeah. I've planted a lot of seeds,
Yes,
and
you have.
my mother was always she was a wonderful gardener too. I am not. I don't have a green thumb at
Well,
all.
I think you
But
are in a different way. Yes.
yes, thank you. She, um, you know, it. I have planted the seeds, and I am seeing growth now.
Love that.
It's I don't want to jinx anything, but over the years it has gotten to be something very special and meaningful for so many people that they do want to become involved. They do want to help, and I have a very difficult time asking for help. I'm not unusual that way. A lot of
Right.
people
No, you're not.
have that. And
We're a little
my
type A.
girlfriend,
Us
she's
founders, we're a little type A. We like to
yeah,
do things ourselves.
we
Yeah,
want
a little
oh,
bit.
oh yes, we have to do it right. And and so I mean, I recently asked a girlfriend to help, and she said, I am so happy you did I love doing this for you. This is wonderful. So
Oh,
I'm branching out a little bit. I'm getting better at
good. Good for you. That's fantastic. Well, I think that oftentimes we just think it's easier if we do it ourselves, but then that's how we get burnout too. And so and it's really easy. It's really easy to get burnout, and it's really easy to take it on. It's really hard to ask. But then the flip side is the gift you're giving, the impact you're making with your friends, and you're giving them the privilege and the ability and the experience to be able to have these feelings that we get to have, which, I mean, we get paid in different ways. We get paid in these feelings of helping, and it's a gift to give that feeling to other people. And so it's hard. You don't think about it. You just think, I just want to get this done, but you don't realize that you're helping somebody else have that feeling, and it's contagious. It's
it.
absolutely contagious, and that's the beauty of all the seeds that you've planted. So if you could dream any dream for your organization, what does it look like?
Well, I would love to have a real solid team, of course, that would help over
Right.
the, that have the time and the effort and the energy to help. Of course, I always kid and say I would love a couple of sugar donors. Uh,
Right.
that would
I
help.
I need to take that term from you. I like that.
Yeah, right. And I have a wonderful community already. But just, it's like, I don't, I have a lot of questions, how, the why, how can I grow? What can I do? I would like to have more space. My vision is to have a space where things are set up all year round for stockings and people can come in and fill them even in late, have little groups come in, have bigger groups, stocking stuffing parties for others. They can take them with them and distribute them wherever. I mean, I have ideas. It's just,
It's
how.
a lot to implement.
It
Well,
is a lot.
I think if you don't have the dream and you don't put it out there, which you are putting it out there right now in a very big way, since we are one of the top rated charity podcasts in the country. So you are putting it out to the right people. And the other thing that I think that nonprofits don't do enough, and I'm actually going to tour a nonprofit later today, and I have a great partner for them. Like, I think that we can do more with other organizations. Like, I love that obviously you're supporting women in need. Like, that was a nonprofit that you found another nonprofit and said, how can I help this nonprofit? And I
Yes.
think that we as organizations can do a better job of connecting with other organizations, whether they're distributing or they're making it. There's so many people that are looking for ways to do that. And so I think that is, we as a nonprofit community, we are in our little silos doing our little work, and we don't think about, there's a great teen group that's looking for projects and service hours, and why don't I go and talk to them and see if I give them the supplies, and they have a big, teen space that they have, and maybe they would store my stuff, or things like that, that we get sometimes in our zone and we don't think about all of
Right.
that. So I'm putting my hat on for you, because I'm already thinking.
Oh,
I'm
thank
thinking about
you.
some ideas.
Yeah,
So
and
tell.
I love to work with other organizations. I donate to them when I can. I'm always
Right,
collecting items here and storing because you never know when someone might need something. I live in
right.
New York City. There's a lot of need, and people know to give me a call or a shout out. I'm looking for size 9 sneakers for,
Right.
and I like to manifest. So I love to
Well,
help out wherever I can as well.
okay.
So
Well, we're doing some good manifesting right now by putting it out there. So tell me what lessons you've learned since 2007, since, losing your mom, the life lessons, and you've obviously learned the lessons, which I love, is giving is healing, which is totally kind of my mantra. But what sort of lessons have you learned in this journey? Because there's a lot that unfolds when you start helping people. We learn so much about humanity, and I do feel this is a full circle um, question, because it seems like your mom was on, you know, a life quest to learn, and to learn about people, and to learn about all these things. And so I feel like in some ways you're continuing her journey. So what lessons have you learned in all of this?
I think that I have learned a lot of discernment when I meet other people that, like I said, we all have our own stories. So to not jump to conclusions of what someone might be like. I do see a lot of people here in the city, in my daily activities, and just being kind and compassionate, saying hi to the worker on the street or whatever, and a little good morning. And then um that helps me also. It's kind of broken down a closed off shell, and they say New Yorkers are so tough. We're tough, but I have a shell that has some flexibility now that
Right.
I see, and I feel a lot of. You know of myself. And also another thing I've learned is to set boundaries, soft ones and hard ones, that
It's a good one.
help me with my growth and going forward in my daily life, and also here with what I'm doing with the nonprofit as well.
I think that the boundaries are so important. And I think that, we can only give when our cup is full. And if we're not going to the gym, going to bed at night, not, just take just the basic self-care. It's so easy. My husband would say, it would have been easier if you were like a shopaholic and not into helping other people or something, because it's just eh, the need is always greater than we're going to ever be able to meet. And
Exactly.
there's it's not a guilt. That guilt isn't the right word, but we carry something more when we go to bed at night if we haven't finished something or done something. We think about the people that didn't get whatever service it is that we're trying to provide, that they
Yeah.
aren't going to have that joy at Christmas, or that aren't going to be able to read, or not going to be fed, or not whatever it is that our organization does. And it's not like you go to bed from, the Xerox factory and think, "Oh, I didn't do whatever today." It's different. It's different. And so we push a little harder, and those boundaries are critical so we can keep going. So I just think that's such an important lesson, and I think it's one that that we somehow think doesn't apply to us. I don't know why, but we think, "Oh, no, I could do this. I could do this." And,
No.
all the nonprofits founders I've ever interviewed, your friends are probably saying to you all the time, "How Wendy, how do you get all this done? How do you do so much? How do you" right? But we
Yeah.
have
Oh,
right?
yes. Absolutely.
Because we do a
I
lot.
my dream is to open up this and not my focus has always been for moms and women, but I have had organizations that have asked me, well, what about men,
Right,
and what about, you know, kids, and
right,
that's very valid. And I would
right,
like to be able to serve the male guardians of families as well that are
right,
in shelter, but it's just not in my wheelhouse just
right.
yet,
You can
like
only do what you can
that.
do,
Yeah, that
and
Christmas tree's not there, that gift under the tree hasn't happened yet, and people do give children are not really left behind, when they're
right,
in shelter, they get, the corporations take care, and that's a wonderful, wonderful gift, and I think this
right.
my mom's forethought that, what about the moms was just
Right, right.
so
No,
prophetic, yeah.
they need because they're caring for more, like, they need to get filled up
Mhm.
because of all that they take care of. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
it's
everyone needs a shot of love at Christmas, and
everyone needs a shot of love. Absolutely, for sure. So how do you think this has changed you? Do you think that you're the same person you were in 2007?
uh, no, I don't think I'm the same. I hope not. I wanna grow and grow and grow, and,
Mm,
I have changed a lot. I think that, I'm without letting I take care of a lot, but I can do it. I'm capable. I can. It's like my trainer says there's nothing we can't do. And well, there's some things we can't, but there's a lot of things that we really can, and with
right.
focus. So I can do more than I expect of myself. It's just
Mhm.
push. We all have to push ourselves a bit.
Right,
Um, although staying within those boundaries, of course. So,
right,
yeah, I think my compassion has grown. I'm an empath naturally.
right,
Um, so the compassion for others has certainly grown, especially having landed here in New York City. Um, and I think but it's universal. Your compassion translates anywhere you
it
go.
should
Right.
be right, it goes anywhere, and I think once you open that piece of you up to
Mm.
seeing other people's stories, to learning them, to hearing them, and to serving them and helping them, um, it does, it expands. It just keeps you you really have a deeper understanding of what people are going through, and I think that it's part of the fuel that makes us want to keep helping them, right, and
Yeah.
serving.
Oh,
And and
absolutely.
and I think it gives us gratitude,
Mm,
for what we have, and then I think the gratitude gives us joy.
yes. And we don't need that much.
No,
I'm grateful for the tiniest little things now. So,
right? I know every morning I'm in the shower, I'm like, I am grateful for hot water. I mean, I say it
Oh,
every day. I think I am grateful for hot water. I
yeah.
had a cold shower at a friend's house a couple weeks ago. I'm like, I am grateful for hot water.
Oh, yeah.
Things that we just don't think about in our day that just it just shifts your perspective of everything.
Mhm.
And that's really um what it's all about. And Christmas should be all year round. And I love that you're really
Mhm.
clear that this is a year-round nonprofit that needs support year-round, because the spirit of the season should be year-round. That joy that we pass to others, that good morning that you say to the person on the street, should be something we do every day, not just at Christmas time, not just
Yeah.
be right, not just during
Yes.
the holidays. And so I love that. So tell us how we can support you, how we can start chapters or make continue your in our neighborhoods. How do we get involved? Donate, give us everything.
Well, my website is momschristmasstocking.com. It has my story on there, a little bit of press that I've been involved with, ideas on how you can be involved. You can get involved with us, or you can do your own stocking stuffing event, or ideas on what's appropriate or fun to put in a stocking. Any questions I think are answered through there. Plus, you can email me through that website. You can donate on the website. I take um, in kind donations of goods. If you wanted to ship to me, I have a number of people that know they work for certain organizations that have beauty products or things like that. Um, if I'm also on Instagram, Mom's Stocking, Christmas Stocking on Instagram. And on Amazon, you can find my story in Christmas on Chicken Soup for the Soul. Merry Christmas.
Oh, I love
Yeah, it was
that.
published in and then their Chicken Soup for the Soul for Mom with Love. And I think those books are
Oh.
both which would be, lots of Christmas stories or lots of stories about moms. And my story's in there too.
I love that. Wendy,
Yeah.
your mom is so proud of you. She is beaming down right now. I can't even stand this. It's so beautiful. I love what you're doing. Thank you for brightening so many other moms' Christmases and throughout the year, and making people feel good and giving that spirit of joy that is something we celebrate, unfortunately, only once a year. But thank you for making it something that happens year round. I'm really grateful for all you're doing.
Thank you so much for having me today. It was lovely speaking with you, Heidi.
Oh, thanks, Wendy. And everyone, please go and follow Wendy at momschristmasstocking.com. And thank you again. This is just terrific.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Charity Matters podcast. I really enjoyed talking to our guest, Wendy Strauss, about what it takes to start a business that truly changes people's lives. I think her comment about giving is healing was so inspiring and true. To learn more about these modern day heroes and entrepreneurs, or if you'd like to reach out to us, visit us at charity-matters.com or connect with us on Instagram at Charity Matters. If you enjoyed our conversation, we would love it if you shared it with your family and friends. And please don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. But more than that, thank you for caring, for believing in goodness, and for being a part of our movement. You are exactly what the world needs more of. Remember that together, we can make a difference, one small act of kindness at a time. Charity Matters.